the boss told me how to warm up. You know, there's different types of calls for warm ups and that. You know, if you're a player, you know what I'm talking about. So sometimes the boss, the sports answer, yeah, warm up, and then sometimes they say, yeah, warm up, but you know they're gonna bring you on type of thing. So I got that feeling. I was like this is gonna happen here. So like it just kind of hits you at once. You're like, oh, like I need to go get ready and stuff. Start doing warm ups and that. To do a couple laps with the pitch, do your warm up and that. No way, this is gonna happen again. Like it was literally the same situation. Everything, corners, free kicks, corners, free kicks. Then the ball went out. Oh, sorry, it was a foul. They got a free kick, and I was like, yeah, he's not gonna bring me on a free kick. Like it's my debut, and they're choking all the big lads in the box. Like, and then he was like, yeah, put the team on number up, and I was just like, like, did you get me? I was like, oh, this is it. Like, I need to, but straight away because it's a free kick, and like you're going in as a centre back or right side of the midfield, like you need to be like all that side for the second because it's 2-1. You don't want to be the reason to come on and make a debut and someone gets over the top of you and scores a header. Like you just don't want that to happen. So
Welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by Andrew Omobamidele. I can say it right and I can say it perfectly now.
It's good now.
I can even spell it.
Go on.
Omobamidele.
Yeah, perfect.
Sorry, probably. But I was looking away. But listen, it's been a brilliant season for you, a breakthrough season. And I suppose the last time we spoke was the under-17s tournament out in City West, and you were kind of preparing for that. So I suppose just to kind of kick it off, it's great to have you here. Talk me through the under-17s tournaments, you know, because before, it was literally just before, I think we were going for your first training session that day. So what was that experience like?
Probably to this day, I'd say it was probably one of my best moments playing football. Obviously, because it was with a home nation and we were playing here, and it was my real first time representing the country in that kind of competition. I mean, I played, I think it was 2 friendlies before that, but it wasn't like the fans and stuff like that there, and my family were down, my grandparents, like my uncles, everyone was down, and especially that first game in Tala against Greece, it was crazy. Like it's something that sometimes I even think back, I'm like, you don't really in the moment, you don't realise it. It's after a couple of months, a year now, 2 years now, that you're like, that was proper. Like.
I think it's almost even underestimated the kind of the atmosphere of fans, because you look at now, obviously there is no fans, but I think that obviously added to the element, obviously getting the goal. So I think it was kind of magic for you in that sense, would it have been?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was 4,000. I think the max was that day against Greece, but that you can't really compare that to, let's say, Cairo, 40,000 that I haven't played in, and still at that 4,000 for me was like, that's the most I've ever played in till this day. And that was proper. Like I remember coming through the tunnel against Greece, and like it was just it was crazy. Like just a mixed bag of emotions. Like yeah, obviously there's a bit of nerves there. You're playing Greece in the first game. Everybody's there because it's the first game. You want to perform, stuff like that. You want to impress. So it's kind of just a mixed bag of stuff. But I think once you get out there and the whistle blows and you get your first few touches, your first few passes, and that, you're grand after that.
Do you think it was a good kind of way to showcase, you know, your skill? Well, not just your skills, but I suppose some of the players there, you know, they look like good up-and-coming players yourself. Joe Hodge, Matt Everett, Seamus Keogh, all players that people are kind of keeping an eye on now, probably just because of that tournament.
Yeah, definitely. I think internationals, it's a great way to showcase every player's abilities, because at the end of the day, you're playing the best players from the countries that you're playing. So it's the best to be the best at that age group. So yeah, definitely. We're playing Greece, Belgium, Czech Republic, like the good countries in terms of football. So yeah, you're definitely showcasing your abilities in that stage.
Yeah, so just kind of moving on from that, you've been playing, you know, under-23s football. I know you've been saying you've been training with the first team at Norwich. So I suppose just kind of from the journey from the 17s then to kind of where you're kind of at now, or maybe just up until your debut at least. How has that kind of been, that growth from there? Even kind of you walking in the door there, you've grown a lot in that time as well.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's a slow process. It's like it's one of those, you just have to keep your head down and kind of work under the radar. I think sometimes it kind of kills a few players from 17s to, let's say, senior team, when there's like they're overhyped, or people are already saying like, oh, when he's maybe 18, oh, he needs to be playing for Ireland, he needs to be doing this and stuff like that. I think then the period between 16 to, let's say, 19 or 20 is just developing. Like you need to be playing, you need to just keep your head down, working under the radar, getting better and stuff like that. So I think I was lucky in that sense, because I think after the Euros, for a bit there, I was just working under the radar, getting my 18s games in, training a couple of times with the 23s, coming off the bench and stuff like that. And I remember at that point, I was just trying to keep my head down and just keep working, train every day, stuff like that. So then when I eventually got into the 23s full time, I kind of cemented my position there by performing and stuff like that. That's the good thing about Norwich. Like if you like they give you what you deserve type of thing. If you train and you're showing the coaches that you need to be there, you should be there. They'll give you that chance and they'll give you that opportunity. So yeah, so when I kind of cemented my place into the 23s, it was just about then. I remember like me and some of like my people back home and stuff were talking about it. Were like, you just need to consistency. You just need to be whacking out these games and playing good and keeping your standards high. Because that's all they look for there. Like football's all about consistency. The manager needs to trust you. Like to have a over 7 out of 10 game every game. Maybe there's obviously that one blip that every player has. Doesn't matter what level. But if you look at players like I don't know the highest of the high, like Ronaldo, maybe have two bad games out of 10. That's the level that everyone wants to be at. So I remember, as I said, the 23s there. That's what I just wanted to do. Just wanted to keep my head down and keep working. And then that's when some of the talks around the first team training started coming about and stuff like that. A few players are going on international duty. Ben Godfrey's, Max Aaron, stuff like that. So
love Ben Godfrey, by the way.
yeah, he's a player, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, then they were going on international duty. I remember the week, and we had the game versus Luton in the cup, and there was a load of talk about it. They were bringing up a couple of players and stuff like that. And I remember that week in the 23s, it was flying, like boys are flying into tackles and that. Like it was so competitive because everyone knew that the 23s manager and the boss are going to speak. They speak anyway, probably every week, I don't know, but especially during that week because he's obviously going to be taking 3 or 4 players to train and potentially travel with the squad that weekend. So I remember on that Monday I was just like, yeah, this week I'm just every day is just like as I said, everyone just flying into challenges. The intensity was mad. Then I think it was around the Wednesday or Thursdays when me and I think it was 3 others that got training with the first team. And yeah, so my first time training with them was a bit mad because you come into the change room and you just see Timo Pukki, Emi Diaz, all these boys that like when I signed for the club at 16, I'd go to the Barclays stand in Carrow Road, you'd be sitting up with all the fans, you'd be watching these boys playing and you'd be cheering at them, everyone would be singing their names and stuff, and then fast forward a year and a half, 2 years later, you're just about to walk out in Colony and train with them. So it was just a bit surreal at the moment. Obviously Grant Hanley and stuff like that. I've been watching these boys since I signed and stuff. But all of them are top lads. Like the minute I got there, they were real welcoming and stuff like that. Then yeah, so that first session, it was obviously I was so nervous that first session. I remember speaking to the boss and stuff like that, just having like friendly conversations. He's like helping you settle in and stuff like that. Then yeah, so I trained well the first day, and it just kind of each day you have to take it one by one. You don't really think of like, oh, if I train well these 2 days, I'll travel. It's not like that. You need to like today's today, and then after you get through that, tomorrow's tomorrow type of thing. And so that was my mindset going into that period of the first team. And yeah, I travelled that weekend, didn't come on, and then that's how it started coming together. I started training more, start getting more comfortable, start like getting more used to the intensity of the play and stuff like that, because the difference between 23s and first team, the intensity is mad quicker. Like it's just popping everywhere. I remember like if you're inside a rondo on a 4-4, you're not getting the ball back. Like you'd be absolutely blown after. Still to this day, like if you jump in a rondo with Amy, Todd, Max, you're not getting the ball. Like you just run in the circles and stuff like that. But yeah, so as I said, it just started coming together and stuff like that. And then I started being on the bench a couple of times. I think it was 3, 4, 5, 6 times I was on the bench. And
I remember you sending me it was either a photo or just saying that you were going to be on the bench.
Yeah. So obviously it's still great. Like I was still buzzing that I was on the bench and stuff like that. But I think for me, I like to always keep my standards high. So there'd be days that I'll be watching a game and like, oh, I could be coming on. Like this game kind of suits me to make my debut and stuff like that. And then it wouldn't happen. And you're kind of like, oh, so another week of hard training again, builds up again, and it doesn't happen. So I think there was a kind of a mental challenge for me because, as I said, I keep my standards high, and then, like as I said, there'd be games you're like, oh, I should play in this, or I could play in this. Then it was against Reading, I think. I think it was my 11th game on the bench. Um, and yeah, so the boss told me how to warm up. There's different types of calls for warm ups and that. If you're a player, you know what I'm talking about. So sometimes the boss, the sports answer, yeah, warm up, and then sometimes they say, yeah, warm up, but they're gonna bring you on type of thing. So I got that feeling. I was like this is gonna happen here. So like it just kind of hits you at once. You're like, oh, like I need to go get ready and stuff. Start doing warm ups and that. To do a couple laps with the pitch, do your warm up and that. Come back. It was the last minute. Um, and there was a corner. I was ready, had my top off, ready to make my debut. I was buzzing like beside the boss, giving me my instructions and stuff like that. And then the ball just wouldn't go out of play. Like they kept getting corner after corner after corner. And this was like into the
And he wouldn't still be on the corner.
last minute of injury time. Corners after corners after corners, and then I was just the last one went out, blew the whistle, and I was just like, oh, I was raging, to be honest, because you're so close to just. All I wanted to do was just step over the white line, and if they blew it, I would have been like, fair enough type of thing. But it's just the way the game played out, and that's football. So, but yeah, that just made me a bit hungrier because I was nearly there. If that makes sense. So yeah,
we're in touch with this.
Yeah, exactly. So fast forward, I think it was a couple of weeks, and we're playing Cardiff. We're 2-1 up, and kind of similar situation called me, getting ready now. I was near the end of the game, and I was like, no way, this is gonna happen again. Like it was literally the same situation, everything, corners, free kicks, corners, free kicks. Then the ball went out. Oh, sorry, it was a foul. They got a free kick, and I was like, yeah, he's not gonna bring me on a free kick. Like it's my debut, and they're choking all the big lads in the box. Like, and then he was like, yeah, put the team on number up, and I was just like, did you get me? I was like, oh, this is it. Like I need to, but straight away because it's a free kick, and like you're going in as a centre back or right side of the midfield, like you need to be like all that side for the second because it's 2-1. You don't want to be the reason to come on and make a debut and someone gets over the top of you and scores a header. Like you just don't want that to happen. So the minute I went on the pitch, just straight into my position, and we cleared the ball, chased it a bit, didn't touch it, and then the referee blew the whistle. But I was still I was so kind of relieved, and like all the hard work and stuff like that and training kind of leads up to that moment. So yeah, that was amazing after that. But that's kind of when that kind of closes that chapter, and now it opens up a new one. You've made your debut type of thing, because when you sign, that's what you want to do. You want to make a debut. So when I done that, I was kind of like, all right, that's great and stuff. I had my 2 days of family messages and my friends' messages and people messages, like old coaches and stuff like that. So I was like, after the second, third day, I was like, all right, I've done that now. Close that chapter. I need to open up a new one of actually competing to play, to start, to mix it with these boys fully now. So that was kind of my next chapter there.
Do you find it hard kind of, I definitely would with this channel, sometimes you get nice stuff said to you and you think, oh, that's great, and then when you kind of get a negative one, you're kind of like, oh no. Do you find it hard to stay in between that, not get too high, not get too low? Because a lot of people say that as a footballer, that's what you need to try to do, find that balance.
Yeah, definitely. I think with my mum especially, she always going to keep me grounded, no matter what position I'm in life. So as you said about, you get people that give you positive comments, and you get people obviously that give you negative comments, just life, like. But yeah, obviously you see comments there like in like some fans like next year or Ferdinand and stuff like that. It's obviously great that fans are saying that and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm a million miles away from that. And obviously maybe I've played good that game and there's a bit of hype and stuff like that, but I always know like that where I'm at, and I know where I need to get and how I need to get there type of thing. So that's how I kind of keep myself grounded. And with the negative comments, it's kind of similar. Someone calls you terrible after a bad game, you're like, oh, okay, I played bad, but you know the level you're at. Like you as a person know where you can get to or where you should be, if that kind of makes sense. So positive or negative comments, I kind of just take them the same. Obviously the positives are better than negative comments, but yeah, I just kind of take them the same. And as I said, my mum especially, she always keeps me grounded, so that's how I deal with that.
Only take advice off someone, or only take criticism off someone you go to for advice.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
one of the best things I've ever taken.
Yeah, definitely.
Going forward, but just you made 9 appearances overall this season. You obviously got promoted with the team. So what was that like towards the end of the season? Because it must have been brilliant for yourself. I know you said there about getting too high and stuff like that, but just to be involved, I suppose, with the running and then the promotion part and stuff like that, it looked like you were really enjoying your football.
Yeah, definitely. I think when I started against Preston, beside the skipper Grant, straight away kind of just made me feel like I belonged there. It wasn't a case of like, sometimes you get like, I remember when I stepped into a G, sometimes you get like, because maybe a younger player, they're kind of like trying to walk you through the game and you kind of feel like I'm allowed to play type of thing and stuff like that. But Grant, straight away, I kind of felt that responsibility, and I felt like just a couple of stuff he said before the game, like be sharp, be intensive, 2, 3 touches, just quick things, just kind of acting like I played there before. And those words from him kind of just give me like, yeah, like I should be here, and he's making me feel that type of way, so it gives you that more confidence even before the whistle's blown. So all that kind of little stuff, in the warm-ups and stuff like that, doing little headers before the game, doing nice headers, he's like, oh, good header, stuff like that, just for a young player making his debut, first league start, like, it's like, even from the skipper, anything he says there, like, it's going to give you a little boost. So that definitely helped me through the game, and as I said, through the whole game from start to finish. But yeah, that was good. And then
what was the lead up like from the manager? Like, when did you know you were going to start the first game?
that day, so we do, let's say the game's on a Saturday. If it's a home game, you'll train Friday, and then Saturday you go to the hotel, and then way before the game, you get hours to prepare, but you'll get the team, you'll go into the team meeting, do a bit more on the opposition, and then yeah, when you walk in, you'll see it's like in stickers, your name in the position and stuff like that. So before that, if you just backtrack a bit, before that Monday, so we start getting a couple of injuries in the centre back position. I think it was Zimbo, and then Gibbo got injured, and I was hearing a lot of talk just on Twitter, yeah, you need to play Andrew, you need to play him, and all this, and I was just like it might happen. I was like, you got Tets there that can play, he's experienced and he's an unbelievable player. This is kind of crunch time period, so I was kind of trying to put my shoes in the manager's shoes, and I was like, if I was him, like, would I play Tets, experienced, professional, just so we can maybe finish off a couple more games and then maybe introduce me. So I was kind of, just a lot of thoughts are going through my head there, but I knew that I had to train well. That was the end. So like, you just need to train well to give yourself that chance to even be in the manager's talk for the weekend. So yeah, thankfully anyway, I trained well from the whole week, because I was just buzzing every day. Like, I kind of woke up and was like, yeah, if I train well today might be the day. He's like, yeah, I'm going to play him. Or tomorrow might be the day. He's like, yeah, he's ready, I'm going to play him. So every day I woke up, that was kind of, during that week, that was just kind of my mentality there. But yeah, when I walked into the meeting room and I see my name, I was just kind of like, it's like, get hit by a wave or something,
Yeah.
just kind of like wind or something, it just hits you there, and you just kind of just get hot and stuff, like. But I wouldn't say it was bad nerves, because I wasn't expecting it, but I prepared myself for it, if that makes sense.
That's what you've worked your whole life to get.
Yeah, exactly. So as I said, on Monday I prepared myself for it. I was telling myself, yeah, I'm going to start this weekend. So it wasn't a shock. I'm not going to tell myself during the week, he's going to play Tets. And then on Saturday he's playing me, and I'm like, oh, like all flustered and stuff. So I made sure I prepared myself from the Monday on. And yeah, as I said, when I came in, it was just crazy. That first 10 minutes when the boss is speaking, you're not really like, you're listening obviously, but it's kind of in a blur, because you're still like, I'm starting my first league game and stuff like that. But yeah, after that, it's just straight game mode after that.
I suppose the day you lifted the trophy and the leading into the promotion party, what was that like for yourself?
It was probably, I'm not gonna forget that day. That's a day that's gonna stay with me. The medal, all of that is just gonna stay with me. But yeah, fast forward onto the cup. When we lifted it, that was we lifted it against Barnsley. The last game we lifted it, but we won it against Reading. So yeah, obviously John O'Shea was with the Reading boys. So before that game, I was kind of like, got an big Irish boy here, legend, won the Champions League, all of that. So I worked with him with the 21s in the last camp when we played Wales.
Yeah.
So it was his first time coaching and stuff. So I knew like that was kind of in my head before the game. Obviously the winning of the cup and all of that, but John O'Shea was still in the back of my head. I was like I want to impress him. Like, he played centre back, I played centre back. Like, I want to impress him. He's with the 21s as well, so you impress him, maybe you're in a better shot of keep being with the 21s. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So
like all of that kind of was in my head before the game. We went out. I played well. We beat them, and yeah, that's when the celebrations were mad. The first time opening champagne and that. But yeah, it was proper. Like the celebrations were mad. I remember calling my mum in the middle of the pitch with
That when you was doing the live videos, yeah.
yeah, Instagram lives and that, just to show a couple of people and stuff like that. But yeah, that was amazing. It was my first time real celebrating. Like I've won the All Irelands in Ireland, but it's not the same as winning the championship. But yeah, it was crazy, and it continued on for a day or two. But we had who did we have? Oh, that was Reading. So yeah, we didn't lift the cup on that day. Then we had,
Just to bring you back to something that you might not have even realised.
yeah,
You obviously didn't get that debut against Reading, but then you go and win the league at Reading. It's mad how things gonna work out that way.
yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy. Yeah, Reading was a day that was biting me nails at the end of the game. Like, oh, I should have came on early and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I didn't even realise that.
It just clicked with me when you were
Yeah. But yeah, then the last game against Barnsley, we knew we were going to lift the cup. We knew we were promoted. We knew we were champions. We knew we couldn't reach the 100 points even if we won. So you could say it was a nothing game, but that's not how we took it. The boss was strict on play the way you've been playing. It's not a game that I'm gonna try stuff for the Premier League, or I'm gonna give this guy, a young guy, a gift to play because of Norwich. And I knew that the minute I start training with the first team, there's no free gifts. Like some clubs, maybe if you're a young player and you're training with the first team, they'll just give you a debut just because you're a young player and you're training with the first team. But in Norwich, and I remember I was pretty aware at that time, like the first couple of sessions, like you're not gonna get gifted a debut just because you're training well and stuff like that. You need to be everything. You need to tick all the boxes. So yeah, I was just saying, yeah, the boss was strict on winning that game. We started off pretty poor. I think we were 1-0 down, and then Emmy scored a good header, 1-1. They scored again, 2-1, and then obviously Adam. And I was so happy for him because he's had a couple of injuries during the season. He was just back from a hernia, double hernia actually. So fair play to him for even playing.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he came on and he was just electric, lighting the place up. You know, Adam. I could just feel that energy off him. Like when he scored, it was great. Even though it was a 2-2 and the game drew 2-2, it was just a good way to finish off the season with Adam scoring. Obviously, because I'm Irish and he's Irish. Like you like to see other Irish fellas doing well and stuff like that. But yeah, when we lifted the cup, it was kind of similar celebrations to the championship. Obviously, we're missing the fans, and that's probably the only thing that I look back on the promotion winning. Just like, oh, imagine the fans were there. So I've never experienced over 4,000 fans before, and I remember watching videos when I came and when we got promoted when I was still in the 18s. The boys at Carrow Road, and the fans were just electric. Like it was crazy, and like you want to be a part of that. And hopefully, if I get the opportunity in the future, I will be again.
Yeah, and I think that you just obviously with the Irish thing with Norwich there. I mean that kind of goes back to the days of Wes playing there. I mean he's idolised there. I'm sure you're well aware of that. So all going well, you'd hope to be kind of in that kind of frame then in the future.
Hopefully, yeah.
And just you obviously mentioned John O'Shea as well. So just on to the 21s as the tournament's at the end of the month. In Marbella, he's playing Switzerland, Australia, and I think it's Austria. That's the three teams they're playing. Look forward to that, and just with this 21s team, are you excited about the quality coming through because it looks like a good bunch again and a good manager in Jim Crawford.
Yeah, definitely Jim Crawford's a quality manager. I remember when I was in a FAI transition year course down in Cordoff. I remember he came and done a few sessions with us there. That's where I recognised him and knew him from. But yeah, obviously, I think this is an exciting time for Irish football. When you look at through kind of all the younger age groups coming down, you have big players like Adam Myers, all these boys, Nathan Collins, Darryl Shea, obviously he's playing with the first team now. So it's an exciting time, and with the 21s obviously in Wales, you have a good few new boys, always new as well. So yeah, it's exciting, and hopefully if I get the nod for this camp, then I'm excited to play in.
I think from your own perspective, and I can't be putting words in your mouth, but I think maybe if you hit the ground running in the games here leading into pre-season, then it might help you then for next season, then kind of hitting the ground running, whether it's at Norwich or whatever happens.
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of all about momentum as well. Yeah, so like if you're playing games through the summer, and then maybe you have 2 more weeks off, and then you're straight back into pre-season, you have that under your belt. You've played 3 competitive games on the 21s level in Marbella, sun as well, so you're getting a bit of fitness and a bit of beach and a bit of tan if you want that. But yeah, as you said, it's about momentum, and yeah, if I get the nod and if I play those games, it'll be good for me going into pre-season because I'll already be have that kind of rustiness off and stuff like that. Because yeah, as you said, I need to be hitting the ground running. I need to have a good pre-season.
I think you can take inspiration from the last number of years with 21s players. I suppose you look at the Toulon tournament and how many of the 21s players came back from that and got first team runouts then off the back of that, or moves or loan moves or whatever. So I suppose you could take some momentum from that and maybe take it into your pre-season, see how you go from there. Just on the 21s campaign itself, are you excited? And do you feel as though we could maybe achieve something, because it's obviously well regarded and known that we haven't qualified for anything at under 21 level. I imagine that you want to change that, and obviously Jim wants to change that. I know that for a fact. But you've got good quality people in there. You know, John O'Shea, what a man to learn off as well.
Exactly. Yeah. As you said, we have quality players. Obviously, Leo Connors, I think, is unbelievable. Everyone does, I think, in Ireland and around the world and stuff like that. But yeah, I think every year that you go into international, maybe the stuff that you didn't achieve in last year, you want to achieve it this year. You want to be part of that team that achieved it. So yeah, as I said, if the opportunity comes up that I play in those games, or you definitely want to be in the starting 11 that qualifies or does well in Euros, stuff like that. So yeah, it's definitely a goal of mine.
Because I suppose if you look at it, you look back at the Kerr's kids under John O'Shea would have been playing, he's Andy Reid, and then there was other players, Damien Duff and so on. And you kind of look at them, they were kind of watched the whole way through, and they all went on to have brilliant careers. I imagine that you and a lot of the other 21 lads would like to emulate that, finishing your career as going down as a legend. I imagine that's every footballer's ambition.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Ireland is it's a tight knit country as well, and to be John O'Shea, a legend of Ireland, Champions League winner, he's done all, he's completed football really. That's what you want to do. You want to do well for your country, be known by everyone in your country for being a top footballer, playing in these won the Euros with the Kerr's kids, stuff like that. That's what you want to do, and you want to have all these little accolades along the way as John O'Shea has. So he's definitely a role model for young Irish players coming through.
Yeah. Well, definitely. Listen, I haven't got much more to say other than it's great to see you've matured over the time, even the size of you now.
Appreciate that.
So it's great to see you doing well, and hopefully long may it continue. So thanks very much for coming in and having a chat with us.
Thanks very much.
Guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like on the video. You can follow Andrew at a.omobamidele. If you want to check out the speller, go back to the start of the video and spell it. You can get him on Instagram. What's your Twitter? If you don't know,
it's Omobamidele 1.
So you can follow Andrew at those platforms there. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll speak to you all soon. Take care.